The development of IKM Vines was based on the principle that while there is abundant information on offer about the developing world, available to everybody with access to the internet, most people usually receive a biased view through a general window on the world like Google. Google's search's PageRank system is one of its strengths, but that system results in a bias, which brings, for example, to the top of searches large documents because they contain more terms to index. Documents and web pages from large organizations because many other sites link to those, and because they tend to have resources to be able to manage search engine optimization. And information from the north, if only because organizations from the north have been present on the web for a long time. Finally, most people who search on the web use search terms that they're familiar with, that have worked for them in the past. To address all of these issues, IKM Vines aimed to provide a view on information about the developing world that gives a higher rank to information from the south, information held in other resources than documents, and information from smaller organizations like NGOs. The project planned to achieve this through building a software platform using the Drupal development environment, which could be used to gather collections of information which had already been selected as relevant to the south. The platform would import these collections together with the classification labels or tags that describe them and make them searchable. It would also expose the classification structures to view and enable searching via those structures, as well as a comparison of the different classification structures. The ultimate aim was that this tool could be an integral part of, or an add-on, for an organization's web platform, thus enabling users to search special collections but also compare findings with a search on the open web. As with all IKM Emergent projects, Vines is a research project, aiming to uncover and understand the issues involved in the problem it is addressing, and provide a model for others to follow in terms of the methodology and the outcome. The product itself, IKM Vines, was intended as a demonstrator, both of the underlying concept and approaches to using digital technology to address the problem.
IKM Vines tries to address the problem of how to find certain content in two ways. The first is that it's looking in different places and brings things together from more selected sources and organizes them according to different categories, what we call leaves.
I think it's been really interesting. We were looking for a way of presenting information in a different form. Rather than taking the existing portals and collections, we wanted to first of all pull out from that collection a southern viewpoint, so to be able to separate out certain articles. And then the other point was, once having established leaves on subjects where these collections and articles from the collections could be grouped, we could then look at associated terms and do some analysis on the articles automatically.
Classifications and collections of classifications are the currency of IKM Vines. The developers used Delicious as one of the building blocks for IKM Vines prototypes. It's a social bookmarking web service for storing, sharing and discovering web bookmarks. Critically, it uses a non-hierarchical classification system. Users can tag each of their bookmarks, and a bookmark meaning a web page, with a freely chosen index term, and in the process generating a kind of folksonomy. All of those terms are important for IKM Vines. For example, here is my own collection of web pages that I have found relevant for different projects. For this video I was searching for Creative Commons music to use. I found some sites for download, and I added them to my collection of Creative Commons music tagged using the Delicious platform. That means that I can share this collection of websites with other people. Other people can find my collection and other people's collection if they search on Creative Commons music. The Euphoric Collective, of which more later, used Delicious to organize a great deal of its work. Here is a snapshot of a Euphoric page in Delicious. You can see that the tag we're looking at is south. In other words, material on the web that the Euphoric team thought was relevant to the concept of south in development. Who were Euphoric? Euphoric was a cooperative which closed at the end of 2009. It operated in international development across Europe and was a group of innovators and developers for web services and a whole range of other tools to support international development organizations. The other partner for the development of IKM Vines is Codesria, the Council for the Development of Social Science Research in Africa, headquartered in Dakar, Senegal. And to bring us back to classifications, unlike Euphoric, which experimented with using Delicious, Codesria used the OECD macro thesaurus to organize its collections of data. And the macro thesaurus was the result of many organizations collaborating to create a common vocabulary to facilitate the indexing, retrieval and exchange of development-related information. The macro thesaurus comprises descriptors, keywords again, designed for indexing books and documents.
And we built the system in Drupal because that seemed to offer the most scope for handling feeds, which seemed the most natural way to pull in the information, and also because we could then link it with taxonomies. So we brought in the macro thesaurus because that was used by one of our partners, Codesria. We've brought in the Delicious as an interface to read the Delicious tags in a structured vocabulary built by Euphoric, and we plan to do the same with the Ayadi collection.
We took the data from their publications, and these were indexed, as you can see. So we imported the newsfeed because we believe that a lot of data as it comes today is in the form of newsfeeds. We imported this into the system. From those systems we extracted the most important terms that they use. They use it from a vocabulary called the OECD thesaurus. You see them as a word cloud, and the most important ones we see them in the middle, over here. So here information, the most important one being politics apparently. So this is a view from the south. These have been assigned, these are things assigned by indexers from the south in Dakar, and on the left we see all the different keywords that they use, and here we see them in context in order of their relative importance. So the system extracts those terms that are most frequent in this set, but are not those terms frequent everywhere. So that's basically the way that this is extracted. Okay, so this can be used to navigate further. We developed another one. It's called Euphoric Finds. these are also basically the setup as the same. So it imported we imported news feeds from things being tagged with a taxonomy, so without a prescribed thesaurus or anything. And these were web resources, basically. Web resources of material that was from the south, although it was indexed by people from the north. And we can go on, and we can, for example, click here on sugar, and we will retrieve everything related to sugar, and we will find the leaves that got related information on the left. Okay, of course we can combine both systems and the content of both systems. So you can find both now. You find here on the left, you find both the on the left you find the leaves from the Macrothesaurus, and on the right you find the leaves from the euphoric taxonomy, what they did. And here we see the combination. Of course, these are at this moment. This is just, well, one list, and that's all. What we would like to do is to have some ways of comparing the vocabularies used by different, and so to visualize the different views of on the same data, the different views that there can be.